Well, hello. I am Henry Ballard, and I am one of the members of Responsibility Advocates. We're hosting these runoff interviews in order to inform the citizens of St. Bernard about the candidates. And I'm excited today to have Mr. Fred Everhardt here. Fred, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Great. So, Fred, this is going to be a conversation that we'll have about this upcoming election, about our parish. I believe that our voters need to know more about the candidates, and there are many forums that happen, but sometimes the 2 minutes that you're limited to doesn't give you the opportunity to really give it the answer that's on your heart or address certain things that you believe the citizens need to hear. So we're just going to have this conversation. There's going to be a few questions. I want you to answer them as you see fit, from your heart, just from your experience, so that the viewers and the voters can know exactly who you are. So let's start with, why are you seeking this position? You're running for which position?
At-large East.
At-large East.
Well, it goes back a long way from when I was a young child and I was always into politics. I was always into which way our district and District E, which I'm from, was going. And I was a big fan of Henry Rodriguez, and then when Henry Jr. left there and he went to at-large and Ricky Mellarine ran and he won, and I kept up with it. I just kept going up with it. And on the cable access channel, I kept sitting there thinking, I could do this. I could do this, man. I really can. I said, I love being the voice of my people, and I love helping people. That's the main issue, really. And when the seat was open, I ran for it, and I was successful. I ran. And I was actually blessed to be running at a time that I did when people needed us so bad after Katrina. I call us the Katrina Rebuilding Council because we rebuilt all of this parish from Araby all the way to Wyclosky and Delacroix Island. And there was a lot of money and a lot of funding out there.
Yes.
But it took a lot of time and a lot of man hours and meetings to bring that funding to this parish. And once I've got my first grant, I wrote my own grant. I got, pushed it on the federal level. Went to that Department of Agriculture, and they sent me a letter accepting. We was accepted. I was done there. So I said, "Oh, this is not as hard as they say it is."
Right.
So, and it's about being a voice. It's about putting a proposal together from paper, passing it on a local level, and then moving it to the state or federal level, wherever you target the request to or the grant, and pushing it, introducing it. And you have to take time, and it's really time consuming, but I was making progress, and I was bringing not only thousands, millions of dollars to this parish for coastal restoration projects, drainage projects, settlement projects, street repairs, drainage throughout the entire parish, not just down the road in District E.
And so all of this was done while you were councilman of District E.
Exactly, correct.
And so now running for at-large East, what do you see as the shifting of role or responsibility being an at-large councilman over and against a district?
Well, each individual district is unique in its own way. Down the road, the eastern part of the parish is commercial fishing, coastal restoration, day-to-day operations like every other district has, street repairs, drainage, open ditches, canal crossings, etc. As further you get up, and like in Araby, you got the Old Araby Association, and culture and heritage. You got to, you have to maintain that culture and heritage up here. You have to worry about, now we have a need in our water systems. We got a lot of contracts going out for water lines now. I mean, that's where I shine at because I was in construction and a Louisiana licensed contractor, my dad's company is, and that's what I did for a living for 24, 25 years. And I put many miles of subsurface drainage in, so I know the ins and outs of contracts, putting RFPs together, sending them out there, sitting in contractors meeting, asking the questions that need to be asked, and overseeing just the general operation of putting the lines down. I know how contractors cut corners to make money.
Right,
So
right.
that's where I shine at on the up the road levels of what's going to start happening in Araby on his way down in our new council. For as leadership, I believe that I have the leadership skills being a full-time, 4-year councilman as District E. I sat on the EFC board, the HRQL. I sat on the Sewer and Water Board Committee, the EFC, Executive Finance Committee, overseeing the budget. I know how to line item budgets. I was taught, it takes a while to learn the flow of government. You just can't get in there and just move on. So with me, you don't have that learning curve. I figure I bring a different sense. I bring a hands-on, jump right into it attitude. I could go in and just get the rest of the councils together and the new electees together, and on our first order of business and at our first meeting, we could just flow.
So summing all of that up, would you say that what distinguishes you from your opponent is the experience you just mentioned?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's my experience.
Okay, well, great. I also want to make a note of this for our viewers. You mentioned Araby, you mentioned down the road, as we call it, but it's important for them to know that although you're running for at-large East, the entire parish votes.
That's a good. I'm glad you touched on that, Pastor Ballard, because everybody you go to when you're campaigning, well, can I vote for you? I know you would. They know me as, an Eastern Parish boy, but or down the road boy, and I'm like, yes, I'm running parish-wide. Well, are you running against so-and-so in the West? No, I'm not. That's two different. It's two separate seats with two separate groups of candidates.
Yes. So that's important for them to know. Well, let's keep going. I want to ask this question that I think is important for our citizens of St. Bernard to have an answer to. As an elected official, what would be your personal responsibility towards the citizens of St. Bernard?
First and foremost, by charter, you were there to protect the health, safety, and well-being, and oversee the budget, the day-to-day budget of the parish. That's what the charter states. But it goes further than that. I help feed elderly families. You could take this to as much as you wanted to make it, or as many hours as you want to put into it. And me, when I put my name on something, I go all out. I always have. I work with Blue Star Ministries. I work with Habitat. I work with Joycelyn Hines. She's awesome. The Battered Women's Association. I always did help with all of them. So that wasn't mine. You're here to oversee and protect the citizens, but you could take it to where you can be a grant writer. You can lobby. You have to go to different meetings, and you learn how to unite different parishes together. I mean, for a prime example, when I ran 4 years ago prior to this election, I was endorsed by every major parish president, every coastal parish president in the state of Louisiana. So, I work with everybody. I know them on a handshake basis, and when I walk into a room, if I was pushing a grant or pushing something for this parish, everybody called me, oh, here comes St. Bernard, But I took that as pride. It was pride. So it's.
And here's why that question is so important, Fred, because if we fast forward a year from now and you're fortunate enough to win this election and you become the councilman at large East, I believe it's important for the viewers and the citizens to hear this, because a year from now, we need to have something to grade you on. We need to be able to say, when you were running, here's what you said you stood for, here's what you said that you believe your personal responsibility was to the citizens. And so now, a year later, we should be able to come back to Fred and say, Fred, here's what you said, let's see how well you're doing at that.
I get you. You put me on the chopping block, but I'm gonna answer.
Well, everybody will be. Everybody will be. And it wasn't so.
It wasn't
so much as a question, as much as just an
I should
observation.
be held accountable
Yes.
for whatever I'm saying right now and whatever
Yes.
I'm putting out in the public.
Yes.
And basically, what I'm running on is my experience to take over as soon as I hit that seat.
Yeah.
Not without no learning curve. I'm gonna take off, and the first order of business. I'm gonna bring every government entity in, like I did in the past, and I want to know where the funding's at, what funding's out there, so I know where I got to start from, to where I got to put a team of guys together and say we're gonna go to the Department of Agriculture, we're gonna go to the DHH because they have some water line grants or something in there. We're gonna go target that and write proposals and push them. Now, in order for us to move forward, there's going to be a drastic measure we're going to have to take in the first council meeting. is millage renewals. Not any candidate's gonna sit there and touch on you, but I'm gonna tell you, because I wanna let the public know that, you know, I am going to introduce an ordinance to put these millages back on the polls and send it to the Secretary of State, and we have to vote on this. It's crucial, but a lot of people don't realize that these millages starts from fire protection, drainage protection, garbage cleanup, and it's a little over 2/3 of our operating budget.
Yeah.
So, and I said I wasn't gonna pass no more taxes, which I will not. This is not a pass, this is a renewal.
Okay.
So we need these. So I want the public to know that I will be trying to reinstate these renewals and educate the public on how valuable they are and how much of a necessity it is to parish government.
Great. Now let's move to the next question, because this is a question that I believe that sometimes it's shied away from, but I believe that as a leader and as a public official, we have to recognize the cross-section of the community that St. Bernard has. And we of course are thinking cross-section in terms of economics, but also race. Recently we had something that took place here in St. Bernard. I'm not asking you to weigh in on it as if you were a councilman, so I want to be clear on that. I'm not asking you what you would have done. But there was an effort to rename the street Colonial Boulevard to MLK, or Martin Luther King Boulevard. And of course it did not pass. I'm curious, what is your opinion about the racial temperature of our community? Where do you think we are in terms of race?
As of right now, after the storm has passed,
Okay.
I think we're back to normal.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, we've always got along. Black and white always got, I've never had a problem. I mean, you're gonna have issues with, you know, you have, I hate to say it like this, but you have good white people, you have good black people that just go to turn, and look, we all gonna pray to get them all back together. But you have drugs involved on both sides, and Mexicans and whatever race we have. But as far as temperament of right now, it's I believe it's normal. I mean, at that present time, when the storm was brewing, the wind was blowing, we had some waves and it was rocking. But I'm proud of the people of St. Bernard Parish, because we both rose up, said our differences, and then we rose back down to normal. That goes a long way on people.
Here's the concern I have. You know, even when you say it's normal, and that may very well be the case, or even the appearance, my concern is what does normal mean? You know, and wait, let me finish. My concern is, what does normal mean? And, you know, you and I have known each other for a long time, went to high school together, of course. And my experience and your experience may be different from others. You know, I can say I'm not familiar with some of the challenges that maybe other African Americans had in terms of how they were treated. That wasn't my experience. But it would be naive for me to think that my experience is everybody else's experience, and it's not.
No.
And so when we talk about things being normal, if you're looking at it, and not you in particular, but if individuals are looking at it as, well, the storm has passed, okay, but that does not mean that we didn't have racial tensions before the storm. So let me segue into this next part of this conversation. With what took place with the renaming of the street, and as you just said, you know, people rose up, did this issue create the racial tension in our community, or do you think it exposed what was already there?
You have race wherever you go. It's just born and bred into us as putting our psychological part of our minds. Okay? This parish, I'm proud to say that I never seen or was affiliated with race when I was a kid. I never knew about it. I mean, it was always there. We knew it was there, but it was like a sleeping giant.
Right.
You know, and nobody ever really, you know what you got to do and what you could say around anybody you go around. You know, I mean, the question that you answered is there a racial tension now, right? It's always going to be a racial tension. all right? But the people of St. Bernard are better than that, white and black.
But what I would hope
We
is.
all gonna have different disagreements,
Agreed.
and we all gonna agree to disagree.
Agreed.
And we're gonna work things out. That's what a good elected official
And
and a
what I would
councilman at
hope
large
is
would do.
that for yourself, as an elected official, fortunate to win this election or not, but as a leader in the community, that you would, in the future, be willing to engage what I call a healthy conversation
Exactly.
about race. Well, let's keep moving because I want to honor your time that you've given us today. Just two more questions. One, what is your moral compass? And when I say that, I'm talking about when you have to decide between right and wrong, where do you turn for direction? What informs your decision making relative to what's right and wrong when you have to make certain choices?
That's a good question. The first thing you have to do as a council chairman is to consider whatever comes before you is give it due process. Any issue you bring up, you give it due process. When you are elected and you take your oath, you uphold the health, safety, you hold yourself accountable to making the decisions that protects the health, safety, and well-being of the parish that you're elected to. So therefore, I would base it towards, I would always look first to God and ask Him my question. And I am a spiritual man, not perfect. I fall short every day.
Yeah.
But I ask God to make a decision for me, give me a chance, and then I will review everything that, I would give it due process and focus in on all of the deliberations, and at the end of the day, make the best possible decision that's, I think, in my heart, not by nobody telling me which way to go,
Right.
that I think that's going to be the best for the parish,
Okay.
for people.
Well, let's wrap up. During the election seasons, you hear a lot of information put out in ads and flyers, so on and so forth. Is there anything that Fred Everhardt wants to set the record straight on that may have been said about him or come out in any way, anything that you feel our viewers need to know? Here's the truth about Fred Everhardt. And it may not be the case. Some things may not have been said, but I just want to give you that opportunity to do that.
Actually, I said I was going to run a clean campaign, and I am, unless I get hit. And then I'll probably just sit back and not even respond to it. But there was a little issue that was a misunderstanding between my opponent now and I about an issue about settlement diversions and settlement projects in St. Bernard Parish, which, I touched it straight and I said what I had to say a little bit. From here on out, I'm not going to take no hits at nobody. I hope not to get hit at me for nothing, but I just want to let the public know that I'm not just running. I've been in this game a long time. I've made progress. I've brought millions to this parish. I helped. I fed people. That was unfortunate. I took this. It's a God-given gift to me, to where I want to make our parish better. I bring a lot to this table.
Well, let's do this. Let's wrap up by you looking into that camera and you just letting the citizens of St. Bernard know who you are and that you're asking for their vote.
Well, thank you for the opportunity for coming here and give us all a chance to deliberate on the questions that you have. And we're all going to have a lot of different opinions on different issues that you just talked about. But here's the deal. My experience that I bring to the table is I have a hit the ground running, no learning curve attitude. I've managed budgets, I ran construction companies, I commercial fish, I helped us pass a lot of resolutions in bringing money after Katrina, preserving our culture and heritage. I put water lines down, I've prepared streets, I've did it all. And my record sets the record straight. Go back and look what I've done. I said it in the newspapers. I worked with every coastal parish in the state of Louisiana and every major elected official in Louisiana and on a federal level, and made progress. I'm the only elected official, the only opponent running in this race, candidate running in this race, that could say I accomplished what I set out to do. I do not stop. My father told me when I was a kid, Can't is not in the vocabulary. Where there's a will, there's a way, and I believe in what the Marines say. I improvise, overcome, and I adapt to the situation I am in, and I'm gonna bring home the money. I'll bring it to the parish. Let me do what I do best and represent you. I will promise you will enjoy watching the council meetings as you did when I was on the council. I promise you, we're going to earn your respect back, the public's respect back, and you will have confidence in parish government when I sit there. I will make every decision based upon the health, safety, and well-being of you, the public. You have my word, and that is my honor. Thank you.
Well, Fred, thank you for your time.
Thank
Good
you,
luck in the
ma'am.
election.